Hey, welcome back. This is the Intelligentsia Cup, guys. This is stage 1, the Beverly Criterium, and you can see I lined up real good, right up towards the front. And that's going to be a theme for these videos, I think. Actually, I think there's going to be a couple of themes. One is efficiency, because let's face it, I'm up against pros out here. These guys are super fast, and it was really out of necessity. I mean, I was a little in over my head with these guys, and I really had to focus on efficiency, taking really good corners, and really wasting zero energy to stay in good position. And then the other theme is crashes. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, then you probably already know I've posted a lot about these crashes. And also just if you know about Intelligentsia, if you've raced it before, if you've heard about it, it is kind of a crash fest. And I think it has to do with really aggressive racing, obviously, fearless riders, but also the nature of these courses. These Midwest roads are a little bit different, especially narrow. There's a lot of potholes, crowned roads, manhole cover lids, that sort of thing, and there was basically at least one crash every single stage. But let's talk about this course specifically and how to stay efficient on this course. Because on paper, this doesn't seem like it's a hard course, but you get out there on your bike and it's a really hard course. And here's why. You have, well, first of all, this downhill here. Downhill with the wet spot into this off-camber right-hander, and you can see I'm up to 1100 and something watts, and I'm still losing the wheel. So it's just going to get stretched out on that corner. Just the nature of the course. It's gonna get really fast on this section, and everyone's going to be stretched out at the bottom of that hill. And the result of that is things bunch up through the start-finish. And this is where it's important to sharpen your elbows, as they say, and make sure you maintain good position, because it's going to swarm through here, and it's going to get all bunched up. It's going to be like 6 riders wide, like it is right here, into the bottom of the hill, which is kind of sketch because you want to carry as much speed into the bottom of this hill. Reason number 2 this course is so hard is it gets bunched up, it gets slow into the bottom of a hill, so it's just going to be a wattage bomb every single lap. And then the last reason this course is really hard, even though it doesn't seem like it, is over the top of this hill, it's technical enough through this back section, 1, 2, 3, 4 corners that are close enough together where by the time you are completely done exiting one corner, you're pretty much setting up for the next corner, which means there's really no time to move up. And that leaves the only place to move up is the start-finish straight. But like I said, that last right-hander's at the bottom of a hill, so you really have to carry a ton of speed through that last right-hander, the one with the wet spot and the off-camber. So you got to take a risk there, and then you just have to continue on the power and try to kind of barge your way through people before turn number 1. So how do we stay efficient on this course? Well, the first thing you do is you stay up towards the front. Easier said than done, I get it. But as you're coming through these technical corners on the back, see, I leave a little bit of gap open up here because we're coming downhill, and there's no reason for me to like really accelerate hard out of that corner, get on the wheel, and then have to slow down again to set up for this next corner. So you see, I just carried all my speed through that corner, didn't have to touch any brakes, and I just smoothly got contact back to that Novo Nordisk rider's wheel. And that's the luxury of being up towards the front, is if I was further back, kind of in the scrum where it's like 4 or 5 riders wide back there, everyone's fighting, you can't leave a gap open like that and take the corner smooth. You have to accelerate super hard, follow the wheel, jam a bunch of brakes, and then accelerate hard again out of the next corner. It's just super inefficient and not the best way to ride. You can see people are already coming out of the pit. And I think we're going to set up here for my second example of how to ride efficiently is this spot right here where it kind of clogs up before the last corner. You see I'm going to move up here, try to find a good line through here. I just moved up like 5, 6, 7 spots or something like that. And you just have to find the right lines through there. People were often leaving the inside open like that, and I was carrying my speed into the bottom of that hill. So important to carry as much speed in the bottom of that hill as possible. And if you can move up in the process, even better. And I was feeling good up here in the top kind of 15, 20 riders. That's the right spot to be, I think, on this course. Very sustainable heart rate in the mid-160s. And boom, I hit that pothole right there. And I didn't know at the time, but I have a flat right now. It is slowly leaking a front flat, super dangerous. I'm going to learn about it here in a second on this next corner, I think. Do I make it to the next corner? Let's see. no, still good. I'm still good. I don't realize it yet. If you do realize you have a front flat, guys, don't try to ride it. Just put your hand up and go to the pit. But I still don't realize it here. I'm riding. It's probably getting pretty soft right here, and I believe it's this next corner that I almost wipe out. Let's see. Yep, right there. Just loose steering. Guys behind me are yelling at me, and I got my hand up. So I get to the side and I make my way to the pit, but not before taking a look at the single file chaos that is behind. All these gaps opening up, riders already falling off the pace, and I'm just trying to safely make it to the pit. Oh, I almost eat it again. Trying to stay out of everyone's way here, but I got passed by like 100 riders. Make my way to the pit, and I'm hoping at this point they're going to let me back in up towards the front. Of course they don't, and I don't blame them. They don't know my position when I got the flat, but by the time they let me back in, I am like mid-pack, and I am just really struggling to move up. Now, if I was stronger, this wouldn't have been a problem. I would have moved back up to the front, gotten back into that nice like top 10, top 15 position, and I did move up a few spots here and there. I found some places where I made up ground, but I mean, my heart rate is now, instead of being like mid 160s like it was for the first part of the race, back when I was in good position before the flat, now it's like I am up in the high 170s, and even for a 60-minute crit, this is pretty much unsustainable for me. The heat and humidity had definitely gotten to me, and I'm just being outclassed by these guys. A couple laps later, now my heart rate is 181, 180, and yeah, this is I'm hurting for sure, and I'm not even moving up. It didn't help that this guy clips a pedal. I almost get taken out. So I stay upright, but now look. Now, I mean, I have like this like 4-second gap. Doesn't seem like much, but closing this down now is like the last thing that I need. And Eno recognizes that. Semper Poro comes past me. He saw I was hurting probably, so he comes around and closes the rest of it down. But at this point, I mean, if I'm 181 beats per minute, and I'm on the section of the course where, I mean, maybe for a handful of seconds you do get to rest, and I'm still having to close this down, I'm in a lot of trouble. And I remember now, yeah, I'm carrying enough speed. I can take this corner. I can take this corner fast and close the rest of this down. But yep, another crash. A pile up in that corner. I knew that was going to be a problem. So now, just has to keep working, and now we have this gap that opened up even more to get to the field, and we rotated pretty well, and we eventually brought it back. But at this point, I'm just toast. Like, I'm maybe 30th wheel, 40th wheel, something like that. I'm not going to be in the Omnium points. I'm not going to be in the prize money. So with about 8 laps to go, I call it a day. Save it for tomorrow. But hey, I adjusted really quickly to the heat, adjusted to the different racing style, and this was my only DNF. In fact, my results got better with each stage. So stay tuned, guys. A lot of interesting content coming up, and see you at the next one.
Very nice sprint put on by